I was just going to come out, have a little fun video, because Jim Cornette got me thinking about Cody Rhodes. And I don't know if there's anybody on YouTube that watches AEW or out in Twitter or Facebook land, but I just thought I'd make a fun video today. How I would have booked Cody Rhodes to win. Or, well, actually, wait a minute. Let me back it up. How I would have booked Cody Rhodes to um, how I would have booked him in AEW. I would have, first off, used him like they had him. Start him out as a good guy, have him wrestle somebody on the show. At that point, it wouldn't have mattered. Back in 2019, they just started. But what I'd have done is when they had let me go back. After they had the first pay-per-view with him and Goldust, which they call him Dustin in AEW, but him and Cody are brothers. So I would have took, after that match, I would have booked Cody to, do whatever he, wanted to do and have like a couple matches or something. But the one thing that, and I was looking at, moments or matches that ruined or helped ruin Cody. First off, it was stupid to book yourself in a match or to let Tony Khan book yourself in a match, or you both coming up with an idea, whoever it was, to put Arn Anderson as your coach. That was silly. He didn't need that. That should never been there in the first place. Secondly, like I was going to say, they booked him in a match to where if he lost to Chris Jericho, of all people, if he lost to Chris Jericho, then he couldn't challenge for the AEW world title, which he ended up losing. And to me, that's what started the downfall of Cody Rhodes. I know a lot of people say, well, it wasn't until he started getting it tattooed. Yeah, that was later on or whatever down the road. But to me, him losing the opportunity to challenge for the title was stupid. Now, should he have lost? Maybe. But what I would have done is if I had him lose, I would have worked it out to where, somewhere down the road, most likely when John Moxley, or he was known in WWE, Dean Ambrose, he was the champ at the time. So instead of having, Kenny Omega beat him, I'd have had, him, I would have had Cody and Brandy. By this time, I would have had them as heels, and leading up to their pay-per-view, I would have had, Cody and Goldust before he went to challenge John Moxley. I would have had Cody and Goldust go after, or have another match, and have Cody, wait a minute. Actually, okay, here's what I've done, okay, because this babyface Cody Rhodes, I forgot what I wrote earlier. Man. What I'd have done, because they shook hands, this goes back to the Cody Rhodes and Goldust match. So they shook hands. I would have had them challenge for the tag team belts in AEW and booked them to win. And then, somewhere down the line, after they had a little run with the belts, have Cody turn on Goldust. And then Goldust get, beat up or whatever it is. And then I would have had, Brandy might even got a shot or two in. But then what I would have done is just had, booked another match, let Cody get the victory yet again, and then set up a final match between Cody and Goldust, and then let uh, Cody, lose this time. Have, Dustin go over him. So then by then, after the match, well, during this third match, he's already a heel, and you can bring in the ties to having the show start. The reality TV show. You could have him being a heel right here, and this would put him up to somewhere around 2020 or something through there. Because it'd be long enough that because they started in October, really, doing the show, the Dynamite show. So you could put, Goldust and Cody together a couple times, so sometime in 2020, you could have had all this play out and this whole big storyline. And at the end of the day, Cody turns heel, during the third program, and then Cody gets beat because the heel always has to lose eventually. So the heel gets beat this time. And then, have, I don't know what they do with Goldust after that, but have Cody go on a long run with challenging every person for the AEW, or challenge every person in the AEW roster that's on it, and have him beat everybody that comes every week. At this time, have Cody and Brandy together, have her as his manager, and they cheat and do every underhanded tactic that you could think of. Well, then by this time, the AEW, because most of them's going to be baby faces, a good portion of the time they're going to book them to beat up the baby faces. So by this time, Jon Moxley, who's always been a baby face, is a champion still. Well, by this time, he gets, Jon Moxley comes out, confronts Cody, and they go on about the promo, and Cody cuts his heel promo as usual, and then but they get in saying, well, he can't challenge for the title, and so then they're going in storyline. They're gonna be like, well, what can we do? And so then, they may not say it like that, but however they would come out and word it. So then Cody says, well, hey, me and Brandy will put up our control of AEW, our VP, my VP status, and her branding officer thing. So by that and our jobs as wrestlers. So by that time, everything's on the line. So in an attempt to get another chance at the world title, they take back the stipulation technically here. And if he beats, and then Jon Moxley, I thought about this. And then Jon Moxley says, well, to get the match with me, you must beat the guy that had the championship that was that previously beat you, for you to get another chance at it. So him and Jericho have another match. Well, this time Cody wins because there's no belt on the line. So Cody beats Jericho. And then Cody then gets to face John Moxley. It could be like a stipulation match or whatever they want to do. So then, John Moxley says, well, this is going to be a barbed wire steel cage match or whatever, one of his crazy matches you could think of. Well, and then he says, if you beat me in a non-title match, I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a chance at the title. So the next time they put the belt on the line at whatever pay-per-view it would have been, depending on how everything works out. But they would have, that belt, the AEW belt on the line, and I would have booked Cody to win. Because at this point, he's still a heel, and the heel goes on and he'll go on a long run with the belt, and he'll beat pretty much all the people in AEW again, all the challengers for several months or something, almost up to a year. Well, then this takes him up to practically a little bit into 2021. So by this point, you're wanting to get the belt off of him, you're wanting him to lose. So by this time, you build somebody up and you take the best baby faces that you've got, whether it be Christian, whether it be let's see, Jungle Boy or Darby Allin or somebody like that, and you have them start a match or program with him. And or they have like one of those number one contender, fatal four ways or whatever they want to have, and whoever wins that chance at the belt, shot at the belt, then that's who would beat Cody. Well, then Cody would then, by this point, you'd be getting into the Christians, the Daniel Bryans, and eventually the CM Punks of the world. And what their biggest mistake was having him wrestle for that silly TNT title, that whole television title like belt. It was a joke when he won it. It was a joke when he would lose it, because either way, it didn't elevate him. Him being the Intercontinental Champion was better in WWE. But no, Cody really didn't have as much say as he thought he did, I guess, when he started his whole AEW run thing. And I was if I were a booker and I was thinking, how could I book Cody Rhodes? And this is what I'd done. Just had him cut promos on the crowd, say anything. And then, like I said, at the end of the day, if he wanted to go back babyface and he said, hey, I think I can win these people back, I could I don't know how they booked it, but have him maybe lose a couple matches. And then by this point, for several months, and he gets on a losing streak, and then or something, and then he figures out that, Brandy will cost him a match or something, keep costing him matches. And then he gets rid of her in storyline. And then eventually Goldust or somebody will come back out and cheer him up. And then that might be where you could bring in Arn Anderson, and kind of get him back on track as a kind of like a coach or something. If you wanted to play it at that point. But, and then have him be a baby face for a while with Goldust and Arn Anderson. but his wife don't come back on TV for a good little while. Because in storyline, she's, he turned on her and everything. She's stuck in the back. Because, like I said, there's no use for her by this point, really. And so then, you just book Cody by then. See, the thing is, he could have had people like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and all these other people wanting to work with him. But when he went and did all that, then like I said, he just left here early 2022. He just left about 2 weeks ago. So this would have took care of Cody Rhodes for the first 3 years. Had they booked him smart. But the way I would have booked him. But they didn't, and that's what really cost Cody. I'm not a big wrestling fan today, but when I was listening to Jim Cornette, and when it was asked, that's exactly what happened to Cody. He didn't get booked right because he thought that this AEW thing was, and I guess Goldust bought into it too, but they never were going to challenge WWE. So what? They bought AEW. I mean, they bought, excuse me, AEW supposedly has now bought Ring of Honor, which is just like buying any other small wrestling rinky-dink promotion out there. Ring of Honor. Wow, whoopie-doo-dah. Is now AEW's. And why don't they just go ahead and buy Impact Wrestling? It's about the same. It's on the same level. I mean, if you really want to make a splash, really want to send a message, which you couldn't possibly do this, but you'd have to buy out WWE. Nobody believes that, ROH or especially Impact Wrestling, TNA, is going to survive for very much longer anyway. Uh-oh. What?
I thought you saw me yet.
Why?
I thought you were following that. I got followed.
No.
I got followed.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like I'm going to clean them up.
Okay.
He's playing with toy right now. He's having fun with it. He's wild though. He's pretty wild.
Okay. But yeah, I was just thinking about that, and I thought, well, it'd be something to kind of put out there, just as a good video. But it just kind of hit my head, today. As far as today, we just got up, been doing some stuff. I was going. This is kind of off topic, but I was just going to put an update out here. My wife and I had been putting up some stuff out at the pig and stuff, and so last time, about 2 days ago, my wife had told me when she went on her walk yesterday, and I remember her telling me there was a girl right near her because I could hear her talking, but I couldn't make out exactly what she was. That's why my wife was trying to get me off the phone. But so this woman, we don't know her name yet because they just got to talking and she didn't get time to tell her name, I don't reckon. But she was telling her all about how she was, about how old she was and her what she had to. She's handicapped and, and she had a niece that stayed with her. And she had gotten, pregnant by this guy, but this guy didn't want the little boy or whatever. And she had just came back from a vacation, supposedly from Japan. I don't know, but this is what I heard. And So she told my wife, that basically she liked her dolls and everything, and liked what she read on the paper. And she didn't write a bunch of that down. She just looked at it, and everything. Uh, she knows where we live, but her numbers, she needed them again. And my wife in a little while is going to take them back down there. But this person doesn't have a Facebook or any kind of social media, so it kind of lined it up the way I wanted it to, and how I had it planned and thought out. Nobody with drugs, nobody with alcohol or cigarettes, somebody laid back, easy going. My wife told her that, was telling me, she told her, hey, it's take it a little bit, a little bit slow, but not terribly slow, but, a little bit slow, and, you know, have a little bit of time to get to know, you know, her and her niece. And, I told my wife, I said, well, in comparisons to who I dubbed the crack whore the last time we had some up here, I said, well, we didn't have, so far, we don't have nothing similar to the other one as far as, you know, the whole kids having a dad thing and them that not being worked out and all the things that I've already went over with that. All of that pretty much done away with. And so I said, well, my wife and I had sat here and we stayed up till it was almost like 4 o'clock. And so we didn't go to bed till late, but we had such a good time talking, and she just wanted to tell me what was said. So our plans are to, take, you know, take day by day, and right now I think she's over uh, with she's out doing something right now. I can't remember now what my wife said, but she'll be back in a little bit uh, later on this evening or something. So my wife's gonna go out later this evening and take our numbers down to her and stuff, or we can call and text and all that good stuff. And I reckon that girl didn't take the paper off the board, so she couldn't remember what her numbers our numbers were. So, but she saw my wife out there, and she said, "I saw you in this paper." She said it surprised her because there ain't many people, puts anything but stuff to sell, or stuff for somebody to repair, or yard sales or whatever on the bulletin board. And she's my wife said she really liked her and everything. And I told her, I said, well, I know we only got one one um, ring, one real ring, that we bought. But we were just planning for one, but um, since this one's really close to her niece, I don't want to take. I don't want to take. If I'm going to take whatever the package is, I told her, so we need to take it, try it out. You know, I said she sounds like she'll be a winner. I think she'll like our music and everything. I think everything will be good. There's always going to be one or two things that probably come up eventually. That she probably likes that. Remember, my wife don't, but I told her, I said, we can find a way to compromise. By the way, she was 21, I believe my wife said. That's what she said her age was. So again, uh, she's got a 6-year-old girl, and the niece has got a boy on the way. sometimes, So I said, well, normally I would say no to certain kids or something, because it's very hard to get to liking kids, because you don't know what way they're going to roll. But these sound like good kids, and from what I know, they are, pretty well minded kids. What my wife told me about them, about the 6-year-old girl, or whatever, and said she watches TV and cartoons and kind of that sort of thing. So again, so I'm gonna. Uh, I told my wife we need to take advantage of an opportunity because you don't get this very often. So I told her, I said, this is our chance. It's our chance to get somewhere, and eventually, in long term plans, in the next few months or something, we give it a little while. We get to know everything in and out, ask all the questions, and make sure everything's only up and up. When we cross this bridge, we can then move into whatever place she finds for all of us. And because the one she's living in right now with, she's going to give it to someone she knows, and she's going to buy all of us her niece and and everything, buy all of us for well, that'd be about 5 or 6 of us all together. So, like I said, just kind of want to come out and say an update. So, if I'm not sending, me or my wife ain't sending friend requests on Facebook or messaging much. We're checking this one out, seeing where it goes. It's wasn't off social media, so I'd always said it. Uh, it would be better if it's in person because a lot of people on social media don't really know for some reason or another, they don't know how to talk to people. Just cause for some reason or other they make a bad choice, they hold it against somebody or try to make us out to be bad people. But from what I know, she likes the stuff we do, like going shopping, going to the fair. My wife, my wife said the only thing she don't like to do is shop at thrift stores, and I said, well, she might take you occasionally or something. We might just, I told her, I said we'll work something out around there. But I mean, as long as we get to go like Walmart or somewhere, I'm sure that's no big deal. But she has her own car, her own vehicle, and she don't work. She don't have to sign food stamps like we are. She basically like me. She didn't like to be bossed around. My wife said that she's kind of sound like me. Where I don't like having people up over me, tell me what to do when it was my job to begin with. And so I reckon they bossed her around wherever she worked at before. So she just got on SSI, and you know stuff like that because it's easier when you're your own boss and when you ain't around everybody. And I told my wife, I said, well, if all the friend stuff ain't there and it's just these people and it's just if their mom or dad or somebody came up and wanted to say hello or something, I wouldn't care. But I told my wife, I said the only thing that I really worried about is in the past with the other some of the things that I've already covered, and none of that's come to light. So it looks like we got a good deal here. And so, like I said, we're just going to take it day by day and see what happens. But I'm gonna get off here for today. Like I said, we've had a good day and just been at the house, cleaned a little bit, and done some small stuff around the house. Had some hot chocolate this morning. Um, but like I said, not much else to talk about. But we may not be on Facebook much longer or Twitter. So if this works out, I mean, still, I'm not going to guarantee everything, even though it sounds real good. I'm still going to try to take a little bit of time with it. I told my wife we don't have to rush, and do everything all at one time and go into it right away. If we have to, we can. I told my wife, I said she'll have to tell her shot to come up here for me because I ain't gonna be able to walk in roads down there and get my shoes all messed up. My foot drags, so I have to have certain I have to have things done a certain way. So hopefully she'll come up here maybe today, tomorrow, or something, whenever she can, and we'll all sit down here and we can stay a couple. She can stay a couple hours and go home before dark or something. Like I told my wife, we can. She's already told my wife, I reckon yesterday, she wanted to do like a date thing. Me and my wife and her niece or something, and take us all out to eat or whatever. I think next week or sometime another. But I told her until then we can we can do whatever. I don't care as long as you know they like it and it's to do them. As far as what me and my wife look for. I haven't seen them. I hadn't got no pictures or nothing. Or I hadn't seen them. Met them yet. But what I know, they're pretty much like I had. My wife said, "Well, one of them's just a little bit, got a little bit of weight on her." I said, "Oh, it's all right." I said, "Ain't no worse than that one I had up here before, old Connie." But anyway, trying to pop that bump inside my nose. There's a bump in there. I'm trying to get rid of it. It don't hurt as bad as it did. Man, I hate when those bumps get on you in places and they're in those hard to reach places or something where you can't pop them. Water bumps. But anyway, just want to kind of come out and tell everybody the update, and you know everything's been pretty peaceful and quiet. So, and I reckon everything's looking up and up. I'm gonna go to the dentist if I get my money by Wednesday. Out Thursday, I'm supposed to go to the dentist and have my teeth worked on. Gotta have a feeling, and gotta check this one tooth over here. That I don't know. It did a little crack. I don't know why, but it did. Yeah, it ain't hurting me, so I may just have them just leave it alone. You know, 'cause I really, uh, that's some of my good. There's good teeth around it. I mean, I hate to mess it up, but anyway, um, well, I'll get off here now. I've been listening to some music today too, stuff like that. So anyway, hope everybody has a good day. But if you don't see us getting on Facebook much or posting any videos, you kind of know why and what's going on. But if something changes, we'll update you to let you know if our deal's still on. But for right now, we've got somebody we're trying out. So we're not going to be doing any messages or friend requests as much. I mean, if you want to be friends on there, we can do that, and do that kind of thing. But anyway, we'll see you later. Bye.